Hi, this is James Roney, founder of First Choice College. And in this month's edition of the First Choice 5, we're going to look at some new additions to Google and what great information you can now get about colleges just by entering the name in a Google search. Google has started integrating the federal information about colleges, so acceptance rates, applications, right into the Google page itself. So let's look at that. So let's say you have a college that you're interested in. And let's say it's Adelphi University. So you type in the college's name and you Google that. And let's go over here. This is where they put all of that information. And so this is pulled from a National Center for Educational Statistics. So the average cost after aid, the graduation rate, acceptance rate, links to the different profiles. You get some information on notable alumni, but this is probably the most valuable information that you're going to get here, and that is similar colleges. So people who searched for Adelphi also searched for Hofstra, Molloy, LIU, or CW Post, LIU Post, and let's see which other colleges as well. So we go through Lemoyne, Pace, and so now not all of these are exactly identical to Adelphi, but some of these are very similar colleges. And why is that important? When you're going to be require financial aid to go to a college, you want to apply to colleges in pairs, and you want to apply to similar colleges. Colleges that people are similar often compete for the same students. And so when you get your financial aid offer from one, or if you receive a scholarship from one, then you will go and you can send an appeal letter, what they call an extenuating circumstance appeal, or an appeal letter to the college, and make them aware. So for instance, if you really wanted to go to Adelphi, but you received a much better financial aid package from Pace University, you can write them a letter. You know, you are my first choice university. I would, and this should all, I usually recommend that this comes from the student. You know, dear Dean of Financial Aid, you are my first choice university. However, I received $10,000 a year from Pace University. I cannot justify, you know, an additional $40,000 for that my parents will have to pay to send me to your school. Is there anything that you can do to help us make this decision easier, is usually how I like to phrase it. And then in addition to showing them the other financial aid letter, you'll want to give them other reasons. You may not be aware that we had, if there were any financial hardships that happened, or if unfortunately someone lost a job since you applied. So let's say, I had people, they had their furnace broke, they had to buy a furnace, that was an appeal. People who had high medical expenses. In the past, I've worked with, unfortunately, several students, or 2 students whose parents were on transplant plan lists, and so they had very high medical costs. Or maybe there's a sibling who you were paying, the sibling needs to go to a private high school or private elementary school that they may not be aware of. Or in my case, when I went to college, my father worked 2 hours away from where we lived, and so he had a higher cost of employment. He had to pay gas, tolls, he would stay overnight in a hotel. And so anything you can think of to make them aware of that, and then ask them if they could reconsider your aid package. So again, this is great. This is information we do collect, similar schools, and so when you take our SAT course, you get access to our scholarship database, which also includes similar schools, but it's nice now that you can find this right on Google, a list of similar schools so that you can apply in pairs. That's it for this month's First Choice 5, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Also, if you haven't checked out our podcast yet, please check out the podcast. Last month, we interviewed a former professor of veterinary pathology, and this month, coming up on June 25th, we'll be releasing our podcast, which is an interview with a television sportscaster and a television anchor to tell you how he got there and how you can get there too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month.